What's up? What's up? I think I'm right on the dot for 11 p.m. That's good. I'll let the people coming in come in. I'm going to give it a minute or probably a couple seconds. We're going to do an event recap. The UFC 288 card. Lots of ups and a lot of downs for sure. Feels like once this card started getting going, it would slow down and then it'd start going again and then slow down a little bit more. So we're going to go over that in a second. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments, or I'm sorry, in the chat below. And I'll answer them live. If you have any, I'll pull them up on screen. Let's get on to the first matchup on this card from our early prelims. We had Joseph Holmes versus Claudio Ribeiro. I chose Claudio Ribeiro in this matchup, and I was pretty much right there. Joseph Holmes, again, doesn't really impress me anywhere. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, he's a decent athlete, but again, I just haven't seen enough from him in his fights. And Claudio Ribeiro kind of just ran right through him, uses wrestling, uses grappling. I think hurt him in the second round and eventually was able to win by ground and pound on the ground. Like, he pretty much how I thought the fight was going to go. Maybe not for like point for point, but I did think Claudio Ribeiro is definitely going to do very well against Joseph Holmes. So very good win for Claudio Ribeiro. Joseph Holmes is one of those guys where he's a decent entry into the UFC. So good win for Ribeiro there. Nothing really to say there, but honestly, pretty good performance. Up the card to Ikram Aliskerov versus Phil Hawes. Very, very fun fight. At the beginning in the first round, Hawes definitely did pretty well, just like his normal fights are. He looks really good, but then he starts tiring out, and then his chin starts to show a little bit more when he starts getting hit. I believe he got hit with like one clean shot, did like a couple body shots, and then got hit again, got stunned, and then hit again, and just got completely folded. A brutal KO. Very good win for Aliskerov. Didn't even wrestle in this matchup, which I thought probably would have gotten to at some point, but I think I chose for this one submission round 2 instead of KO for round 2. But first round KO, was not necessarily expecting that. Okay, we got a chat here. We got a chat from CL Strum. Aljo proved the doubters wrong once again. There's no denying him. That's correct. Of course, you had the knee, the illegal knee, and then you had Jan not having a corner, and then you had Dillashaw with an injured shoulder. This one, there's no real issues here. Henry Cejudo, former bantamweight, former flyweight champ, one of the better combat sports athletes of all time. Just complete like athlete in general. Obviously, you can put in resumes in a different category there, but very good athlete in Cejudo. He is 36 years old, but still a very great win. Definitely held his own against him. And that's right, Jan knocked the fuck out of Andrade. She made her look like a fool in there. I don't think Andrade landed too much in that fight. I think that was all Jan there, but very good win for Aliskerov. Completely folded Phil Hawes. Now he moves on. Phil Hawes is a pretty good opponent in the middleweight division too, so watch out for Aliskerov versus Khamzat Chimaev too. That's one to keep an eye on. Aliskerov's a pretty good prospect in that division. How old is he? I think he's still in a decent age. 30 years old, so he's definitely got some time for sure, especially in that middleweight division. Up the card, we have Parker Porter versus Braxton Smith. I thought Braxton Smith was going to get a KO. Looks super raw in there. Basically would just power up his hooks and just throw them. And then Parker Porter just showed that he's a UFC fighter and that he did lose some weight, which is good for him. He definitely looked a lot better in there. With some of that weight loss, he looked a lot faster in general, and he didn't look too gassed. He just showed that he's a better all-around fighter, and he's an actual UFC fighter. And Braxton Smith was a little too raw, so that's what we got out of that one. CL Strum says Ikram is going to be a problem for sure, and I really like to see what happens in that middleweight division, because middleweight is one of those divisions where it's kind of empty. You have Whitaker, you have Adesanya at the top, and now you have Khamzat. Like, very interesting personalities, but they need one of those guys in there to kind of make stuff interesting, like all the other divisions kind of have. But yeah, very good one for Parker Porter. I'm very interested to see how Ikram does up in his division. We'll see what happens there. We'll see who they give him next. Phil Hawes is definitely up there in that unranked category for sure. Bruna Jandiroba versus Marina Rodriguez. I chose Marina Rodriguez. I thought she's going to make it a little bit more competitive, but Jandiroba pretty much just dominated her on the ground. That's all that was. She basically dominated her, showed some really good wrestling and grappling. That's all I said. Marina Rodriguez definitely got her licks in towards the end of the fight, or towards at least the last round. Got some good shots in. Flying knee, I think, landed pretty flush on Verna Jandiroba. That was pretty much it. Verna Jandiroba absolutely dominated. I think ranked number 5, Marina Rodriguez, and I think Verna Jandiroba was, ranked 9? Very good win for Jandiroba. Nothing to really say there. For Chaos Williams versus Rolando Bedoya. Very fun fight. I chose Chaos Williams, but honestly, you could definitely make an argument that Rolando Bedoya won this fight for sure. A very good prospect. I believe he's Peruvian. 14-0 coming onto this card. Some of these prospects that just came out of nowhere on very short notice showed out on this card. Thank you to them, because they actually made some of these fights really entertaining. Bedoya, I believe I had Chaos Williams winning the first round, I think, from what I remember. And I had Bedoya making it super close in the last 2 rounds. I thought you could arguably... well, actually, the first 2 rounds I thought were pretty close. I think Chaos Williams won for sure in the last round. Or it was something along those lines. But I thought you could easily say 30-27 Bedoya. I thought you could say 29-28 Bedoya. 29-28 Williams, you're definitely making a little bit of a stretch there, but I can definitely see it for sure. Very good win for Chaos Williams, just on how skilled Bedoya was. And Bedoya doing a really good job with some of those counter shots. Chaos Williams would kind of just rush in there, take the shots on the chin from Chaos Williams, which is really hard to do because Chaos Williams has some nukes in his hand. And he just completely tanked him. Would like smile at him and laugh at him every time he hit him. And he kind of just made him look like a fool out there a little bit. Like at some points, the counter shots from Bedoya made Williams look like a fool in there. But Williams was getting really tired in there after like some of those missed shots that he had. Getting really tired, and Bedoya was basically winning as the fight went on. So very good win for Chaos Williams. Bedoya showed out, proved that he belonged with one of the tougher welterweights in the UFC, and I thought he did pretty well here. I think you could arguably say he won this fight. Maybe not even arguably. I think a lot of people actually thought he won this fight. So very good debut for Rolando Bedoya. I don't think there's any losers in this one. Plus 300 underdog, and he definitely showed out. So good win for Chaos Williams. It was very close, so I don't know if you can call it a good win. He probably should have won this fight, but good debut for Bedoya. Up the card, we have Devin Clark versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. At the beginning, Devin Clark landed some really good shots on Nzechukwu. I think he hit him with, what was it? I want to say it was a left hand that hurt Nzechukwu, and he backed up, and Devin Clark looked like he was finishing him against the fence, and then Nzechukwu held on, turned him over, and then started throwing some elbows and was cracking Devin Clark and hurt him at the end of that fight. And then the second round, Nzechukwu kind of was there again, and he landed the better shots. And I think that guillotine that he just put in very quickly, you saw immediately as it went in, you saw Devin Clark with just like a whole bunch of spit just come out of his neck. That's how tight the guillotine was, and ended up submitting Devin Clark, putting him out cold. So very good win for Kennedy Nzechukwu, getting better for sure. I believe, is he on a win streak right now? He's on a 3-fight win streak, beat Roberson, the criminal Roberson at this point, Ian Cutelaba, and then beat Devin Clark. Obviously lost to Don Young and Nikolai Ngumurianu, which I think this one arguably could have won. But very good win for Kennedy Nzechukwu. Devin Clark is coming off a win over Don Young too, so he kind of gets it back in a certain way. I don't know, but very good win for Nzechukwu. Up the card to our prelim headliner of Drew Dober versus Matt Frevola. Very interesting matchup here. Matt Frevola was definitely getting the better of him, which I thought would happen for sure. But I just edged it to Dober because of his Chad chin. I thought he was going to be able to tank a lot of the shots. And then by the end of the fight, Dober, with a tired Matt Frevola, which it was looking like Frevola was definitely getting tired by the end of that round, was going to be able to crack Frevola, because Frevola has been a little bit chinny in his career, but he does have some nukes in his hand. I thought this fight was stopped a little early, in my opinion. I'm going to be completely honest. Although Dober got dropped down very badly and took some follow-up shots too, I think him going into or allowing Frevola in his full guard, it looked like he was defending himself, but he looked there. It's not like he was out. Like he was like even though when he was up, he was kind of just like a little bit out of it a little bit more. I thought it was stopped a little early, especially at 4 minutes and 8 seconds left in the 4 minutes and 8 seconds in the round. So 52 seconds left in the round. I think you arguably could have just let Dober survive there for a little bit, see what would have happened. Maybe 15 seconds, he's eating a bunch of punches, and then you can stop it. But I thought it was a little premature. I think if Dober would have survived, I think he probably would have had a good chance in second and third round. But very good win for Matt Frevola. No one really KOs Drew Dober. Let's look at his record real quick. Loss, arm triangle, Islam Makhachev decision loss. Armbar loss to Beneil Dariush. Olivier Arbin Mercier. I'm not going to try to say that name. Rear naked choke. All these are by submission, decision. That's a exhibition bout, but a decision. Like, I think the last time he was KO'd was all the way in 2009 or something like that. Like, that's wild. 2011 maybe. Hasn't been KO'd in forever. Has never been KO'd in the UFC. But yeah, 2 KO losses in the first round. I don't know what KO loss that is because it doesn't really tell me. But yeah, very good win for Matt Frevola. Called out Paddy Pimblett. If that fight happens, Paddy Pimblett is indeed going out cold, but obviously there's a chance because Matt Frevola can be kind of chinny. Saw what Terrence McKinney did, but Terrence McKinney's a very explosive dude, so who knows at this point. But it would be a great fight, and I think Frevola would probably KO him. So make that fight, please. But anyways, moving on to the main card, we have Charles Jourdain versus Kron Gracie. Jourdain made him kind of look like a fool in this matchup. Let's be real, he did really good on the feet. Kron Gracie, I don't even threw that many punches. I'm gonna be completely real. I have UFC stats popped up right here. Let me pull up Jourdain versus Gracie. How many punches were even attempted by Gracie? And this is on the ground as well. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Okay. Total strikes. We got total strikes. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't show ground total strikes, whatever. But Gracie didn't throw many punches at all on the feet. I think he threw about like 5 or 6 probably. Landed a couple decent shots, but honestly, it didn't even look like the energy that he had at the press conference felt like the energy inside the octagon. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, it didn't feel like he wanted to be there in all actuality. Like, he just kept trying to pull guard, try to get Jourdain in a submission, but Jourdain was doing a really good job at protecting himself from getting in those submissions, like a triangle. Like, he's going for the triangle, was trying to roll for a leg. But Jourdain did a good job here. Thanked the crowd, said he apologized to him. I don't remember who he called out. Oh, he called out Barboza, which would be a great fight. I'm not sure. Is Barboza ranked? If he is ranked, then I love that fight. And all. Anyways, if he is ranked or not ranked, I love that fight anyways. Let's make that fight happen. That's going to be a war. It's going to be a scrap for sure. I'm going to be super excited if that fight does get made. So we'll see what happens there. I know the UFC loves Charles Jourdain, so we'll see what happens there. Second fight on the main card. Whew. This fight was amazing, at least for the moments in it, for the first and the third round. Movsar Evloev versus Diego Lopez. Man, Lopez really showed out. He did what Gracie probably wanted to do to Charles Jourdain, let's be real. But I believe he won the first round. Diego Lopez did. I don't know how some of the fan base is saying that Movsar Evloev not beat him, but won the first round. I think that is completely wild. It kind of does annoy me when people say that because, let's be real, Diego Lopez hurt him on the feet. Not only that, he put him in a deep armbar submission, I believe. In that, or was it? It was either a Kimura or an armbar. No, it was an armbar. He had him in a deep submission and hurt him on the feet. Just because you have top control over someone on the ground. That's not a dominant position, by the way. They said that's just a mere change of position. A takedown is important, but a mere change of position is if a guy is just on top of you. There was no dominant, effective grappling there. It's just a mere change of position, and control time goes to when everything's even. But Diego Lopez hurt him on the feet and had him in a deep submission, and the goal of the criteria is damage. It's a damage criteria. So the goal is they'll edge it to whoever or is closer to ending to the fight. So who has more fight ending situations? And that was definitely Diego Lopez in the first round. Second round, Movsar pretty much held top control, landed some good shots above, pretty much beat him up pretty badly in the second round. Looked the same in the third round until I think he had a Kimura attempt, and I think he had a knee bar, which was pretty in at the end. So honestly, there is an argument that Diego Lopez won that third round, and it could have been 29, 28 Lopez, but I had 29, 28 Evloev. But there's definitely a thought there that with those deep submissions of Lopez, that there's definitely a shot that he could win that fight for sure. But good win for Evloev. Showed his good offensive wrestling, but he did get caught in a couple submissions there. Lopez definitely showed out. I believe Dana White came up to him and said, "We're going to give you your win bonus." I think he said that he's going to give him a little bit extra pay too, and I think they did get fight of the night, so he's going to get $50K as well. So he's going to get quite a bit of money on his first fight. So I think probably if you're going off of pay and win bonus, this is on short notice as well. So he's getting short notice money, probably 15 for 15. And then 50K on top of that. So probably 90K in total. 80K, 90K. What's up, Tehran? How's it going? We're on the main card now. I'm shortly running out of breath as we speak. But great fight here. Dana White definitely took care of him. Fight of the night. So he's getting 50K. Win bonus, I believe. And I'm sure he got some kind of money for taking on short notice. I don't know how that part works, but moving on to the next fight on the main card, we have Jessica Andrade versus Yan Xiaonan. Yan Xiaonan basically beat the crap out of Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade did land a couple good shots, but honestly, the length was way too much for her. It felt like she was a lot longer than Jessica Andrade. It says it's only 1 inch reach difference here, but Jessica Andrade felt way smaller there. Yan Xiaonan felt a lot faster. I don't know if this is because she was fighting at 125 and is now at 115 for this fight, and it was just a little bit faster. So Xiaonan won that way. But she's landing some good shots. Andrade kind of just threw her hooks and ran in, and then Xiaonan just clipped her with the right hook. So just put her down and then finished her on the ground. So very good win for Xiaonan. It does seem like she's going to be fighting next for the title against Weili Zhang. So we'll see what happens there. Should be a fun fight. I think I might go Weili in that matchup, but we'll see what happens there. Hopefully we can get Weili fighting soon because she's an absolute monster and she hasn't been fighting for a while. So moving up on the card, we have Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. Whew. Oh, wait, I don't know. There's not much to talk about in this fight. I'm going to be completely honest. I had Belal Muhammad winning the first round. I think when Gilbert Burns went in for a takedown, I think he hurt his shoulder is what the commentary said, or at least what the people around him were saying, that he hurt his left shoulder or his left arm or something when he was going for a takedown that Belal stuffed. And it pretty much ruined the fight for the rest of it for Gilbert Burns. Second round, I think Gilbert Burns won. I believe there was a 49-46 scorecard. You know what, UFC stats won't help me there, but 49-46 scorecard for Belal Muhammad in this matchup. I think it was second round for Gilbert Burns, and the last 3 were for Belal Muhammad. So very unfortunate for Gilbert Burns. He looked pretty dejected after he hurt his shoulder, which is very unfortunate. Not knowing that he had a shoulder injury, I'm like, okay, here we go. Usman situation again. This is just a big moment. Even before the fight, he did look kind of nervous in general. So I won't hold it too much against Burns for getting injured, but it's just a very unfortunate situation, especially for a title eliminator. But yeah, Belal looked pretty good in this matchup. His stand-up looked really good. His shots looked crisper than his last fight against Sean Brady. Sean Brady, you could definitely tell that there is an advancement in his stand-up, but this one, he actually looked way better on the feet. There's some more power in his shots. His kicks looked a lot better as well. So good win for Belal Muhammad. Didn't attempt any takedowns either, so very good win for Belal Muhammad. Not much to say here. My throat is slowly drying up, but good win for Belal. Let's move on to the main event. Goodness. All right, main event time. I was getting kind of nervous at the beginning of this fight. I'm going to be completely honest. It kind of felt like maybe Cejudo was going to get Sterling, maybe KO him. But Sterling definitely held his own. First round, I believe, I have this written down. First round, I had Sterling winning that round. I think he just did a little bit more. I think he's a little bit more active, used the distance a little bit better. He definitely used his distance a lot better. His range over Cejudo, he definitely used a lot better. 7 inches of reach advantage is confirmed on the UFC broadcast. I checked their website, 64 inches for Tapology, 67.5. So I don't know what the hell the Tapology numbers are, but 7 inch reach advantage is pretty insane. But Aljamain used his range a little bit more. I think he only landed a couple takedowns in this entire fight, but looked pretty good wrestling-wise. Held his own in there with Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo, obviously, with the better wrestling positions, but Aljamain was able to get him down a couple times. But the second round, that was my flip round. I had going either way to Sterling or Cejudo, and I think, actually, I looked at the cards. The freaking judges' cards are so wild for the fights today. It's literally been this entire year. We've had cards where it seems like I can point out on every single fucking fight. Not every fight, but at least one fight on each card. Or 2 fights, 3 fights. Where I'm like, what the hell are these judges looking at? It just seems like the UFC is doing this on purpose at this point. Like, it's just really frustrating. But I can go over it in a second, I think, if I can pull it up. But actually, I'll go over it in a second after this. Let me pull it up. Gracie Jordan Dane. Belal. Okay, there's a scorecard. I can go over that in a second. But second round to flip round, but I did edge it to Sterling a little bit more. I had the third round for Henry Cejudo. I had the fourth round for Sterling pretty clearly, and the fifth round for Cejudo pretty clearly. I thought he did way more on the feet. Definitely landed a lot better strikes. But I had for sure fifth round for Cejudo. Third round for Cejudo for sure, and I had for sure first round for Aljamain and a fourth round for Aljamain as well. So I thought the second round was going to be flipped. I predicted it would probably be a split decision. This is the scorecard of the fight. We have Michael Bell, first round, Aljamain Sterling 10-9. Second round, and third round for Henry Cejudo, which I get. Second round I thought was the flip round. Fourth round for sure, Aljamain Sterling, and 10-9 for Henry Cejudo in the fifth round. So that one makes sense if they gave that second round to Henry Cejudo. I'll go over Derek clearly in a second. Eric Colon is what I had my card as. 10-9 for Sterling in the first, 10-9 for Sterling in the second, 10-9 for Sterling in the fourth, and then 2 10-9s for Henry Cejudo in the third and the fifth. That's what I had my scorecard as. I understand Eric Colon and Michael Bell's scorecards. Derek Cleary had Aljamain Sterling in the first round, which is understandable. 10-9 for Henry Cejudo in the second or third round, which is understandable. 10-9 for Sterling in the fourth round, which understandable. Fifth round, he gave a 10-9 to Aljamain Sterling, and I thought that was probably the clearest round for sure in this fight, and it went to Henry Cejudo. I don't know what Derek Cleary is doing. I don't know if he thought like, okay, 2-2 going into the final round, we'll figure out who wins it. But even then, like, you would give it to Henry Cejudo. I don't know. Maybe he was texting because in the middle of the fight, the odds went from like -175 Sterling to -500. Maybe he texted some of the bookies and were like, I'm going to choose this one for Aljamain, like bump up the scores or whatever. Let me put in my money or something. I don't know. But I don't know what the hell Derek Cleary is saying or doing on the fucking judges table. Fifth round, I think he's on his phone or something. I don't know what he was doing. But yeah, here are some of the comments. Derek Cleary needs to be fired ASAP. It's not the first time he has cost a fighter the fight with his controversial scoring. Round 5 was clearest for Cejudo round. Lil, how is it every single time without fail? My goodness, I can't speak. Derek Cleary has a controversial score in the fight. No way in the world did Aljo win that round 5. So Henry would be champ if Derek had eyes in round 5. What the fuck? Round 5 was literally the clearest round for Cejudo, 100%. 100%. I thought that was wild as fuck, but I did think Aljamain Sterling did win the fight, but it was pretty close. Let me check something right now. Do they have the awards? Let's see. Okay, here we go. The 50K bonuses. I don't know what he's wearing, but for performance of the night, we have Yan Jianan knocking out Jessica Andrade on the main card. We have Matt Frivola knocking out Drew Dober on the prelim headliners, which is pretty impressive, honestly. You should probably double that. And then Evlev versus Lopez fight of the night, so they both get 50K. Good on Dana for this one. 30-26, Evlev. You're wild as... What? No way. Did Bloody Elbow really give a 30-20? No way Bloody Elbow actually gave... Wait, hold on. They actually gave Evlev a 30-26 for that fight. That is wild. Bloody Elbow is just blind as fuck. No wonder no one goes on their site. I'm sure a lot of people do, but Lopez, 50K bonus, comes in on short notice. I believe Dana did say he's going to give his win bonus. I went over this a little bit, but he's definitely making some good pay in this card, especially for short notice fight. Looked really good in this matchup. But yeah, that's what we have for UFC 288. We have UFC on ABC, so ABC card next week. It's a pretty good card. I looked at it during the stream. I won't go over it now, but a very good card there. And then I want to say, what's the following week? We don't have a main event yet. So that was supposed to be Pennington versus Aldana, which is not happening. But I have to pre-make my videos. I'm going to be on vacation for about 2 weeks. So no fight companions for 2 weeks. I was going to laugh at you guys if if Pennington versus Aldana was still the main event, but I guess not. My guess is it's going to be Smith versus Walker as that main event, because that was supposed to be the main event for next week, and then they ended up doing Rosenstrike versus Almeida. So my guess is they're going to do that the following week and make that the main event, but they got to figure it out soon because I have to make those videos early and pre-make them all. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream here. I hope you guys enjoyed the fight event recap. Let me know what you guys think down below. Actually, I kind of want to go over this a little bit. What do you guys think is next for Gilbert Burns? In honesty, he's 36 years old, almost 37. What's next for him? This does feel kind of like his final chance at one of these title eliminators. So tell me what you guys think about that. Belal is obviously going to get the next title shot. Sean O'Malley's obviously going to fight for the title next. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Let me know what you guys think about the card next week. I'm going to make a full card prediction hopefully by tomorrow. It could be out Monday, let's be real. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll